Damn it. Damn it, I didn't put the leaf up. Right. You didn't see anything. So, greetings fellow humans, and welcome. It has been a while. I had goals, they may have been a little lofty, and then a pandemic happened, and my mental health went during the Great Plague. Say that like it's over, it's not. I spent a lot of time thinking, because what else do you do in the midst of global calamity? I was thinking about personal style and the way that I present myself to the world. I was thinking about environmentalism and the way that the fashion industry is significantly contributing to the destruction of the environment. I spent time thinking about gender, which was complicated. The sum up of all of this is that between distaste for fast fashion, the gender binary as a concept, and clothes that don't fit me properly because I'm a strange shape, apparently, I would like to make more of my own clothes. But fabric is expensive. I have some fabrics that I'm very happy. Damn it. I have some very nice fabrics that I'm very happy with, but to make the clothes that I want to make, I would need quite a bit more fabric. The fabric industry is also quite destructive to the environment, so I was thinking about how I could acquire more fabric, more nice quality fabric, without contributing to all of that, and without spending any money. My mum has an incredible fabric stash, and doesn't use it. So I basically made an agreement with her that I would go and raid her stash for nice fabric. So I have a fabric haul. It's quite a sizable fabric haul, which is exciting and a bit terrifying. So first things first, I think you need to see the size. So just give me this. This is full. There's a lot of fabric. First off, this is an actual finished garment that my mum made and has never worn because it was hiding in her stash with a bunch more of this fabric. I will not wear this in this form, and so I'm probably going to crop it and put some shirring in to bring the waist to a smaller size, but the top of the top I really like, numero uno. You are going to see a lot of very old Canadian supermarket bags in this process. I say a lot, like 2. This one is Safeway. These are very nice silk skirts. She bought 3 of them at some point in the past. I have no clue when. She has no clue when. They've got pockets, which is exciting. I am probably going to look into over-dyeing them slightly because I wear 4 colours. Technically 2 colours and 2 shades. I wear black, grey, green and pink. Oh, and neutrals. But also this isn't my top. This is Hamish's top. There were some fabrics that my mum had that were really beautiful. In fact, they were beautiful enough that I am willing to make an exception on my colour choices, like wear brown, for instance. But where possible, I would like to shift the colour scheme of the fabric more towards my green, pink, black, grey situation. One of the other things that my mum had that I have taken was a cashmere skirt, a cream cashmere skirt. I am absolutely dyeing that because I just don't trust myself to own, well, a cream anything, to be honest, but particularly a skirt. Sears. This is a buttload of white silk. A buttload. I believe that my grandmother gave it to my mother because she wanted to learn silk painting. In fact, there are a few pieces of hand-painted silk in the bottom of the bag, with the large white piece of silk, and there's more in the bag, by the way. Basically, my plan is to turn it into lining, or I could hand-paint some and turn it into like a very flowy, flouncy blouse, should I wish to. The baby ones. This is incredibly beautiful, digitally printed linen. There isn't very much of it, but I am not a particularly large human, so I could probably make myself like a cropped length blouse with like maybe little baby cap sleeves. Alternatively, I could get myself some black linen of a similar weight and make a larger blouse that has like panels of this and panels of black. This isn't actually technically clothing fabric. My mum bought this because it's quilting weight cotton, and I saw it in her quilting fabric, gasped, went, "Green houndstooth!" and immediately started cackling like a maniac, and then told her I'm taking it. I think at that point my mother was truly horrified about the monstrosity she created, but I have green houndstooth now, So does it even matter? Again, I'm probably going to make a top out of this. I don't tend to like, I was going to say I don't like wearing cotton clothes as I'm wearing cotton dungarees. I mean like dresses and shorts and stuff. There's a metre of this, so I can very easily make myself a decent top. Blouse situation. This I bought and was just hidden in my mum's stash. It is a very tiny piece of basically like green and pink and purple disco balls. It is one-way stretch. I just think it's fun. I just think it's neat. Again, I will probably make like a teeny tiny crop top out of it because what on earth else can I do with this? More houndstooth. This I'll probably make some kind of skirt out of. I love this fabric, but I don't want it near my face because it'll wash me out a bit, and so skirt, methinks. This is very beautiful wool. Some of them I know the stories of, some of them I don't. Where do you exist? Not my usual style and not my usual colour scheme, but I think it is beautiful and so I don't care. Also, it does have green, so I feel like technically it is my colour palette adjacent, at least. I think I want to make like a pinafore dress out of it. I don't know if I can be bothered to make a fully lined garment out of it, and if I made a pinafore, because I'd be wearing tights under it because winter, and I'd be wearing a top under it because pinafore, it wouldn't actually touch my skin, so I would be able to make the thing and then hide all the ends. I'm gonna make videos about all of the things I make out of these, by the way. I would say you're welcome, but I don't know if that's what you want. This is incredibly beautiful suiting wool. Is green. I haven't measured it, but it is a full suiting piece. So basically she bought it so that she could make herself a pair of trousers, a skirt and a jacket. So I am certain, as I am smaller than my mum in stature, that I would be able to make myself at least 2 items of clothing out of this. It would make really amazing trousers. Yes. I might make a waistcoat. That's an idea. I feel like I need more waistcoats in my life. I had a deep-seated love of waistcoats and wore them all through my teen years, despite that not at all being fashionable at the time. I stopped wearing them because I felt like they were just a bit odd. I'm really wanting to re-embrace my odd. This is just some quite nice black poplin. No clue what I'll do with it, but it's nice. Basically, I just stole everything from my mum's stash that was like vaguely black, grey or green. This needs a wash. First off, I mean all of them need to be washed, but it looks really cool. It feels awful. My mum bought it when she travelled to Bali in the late 80s. So I'm taking it off her hands. I'm gonna wash it and see how it feels after it's been washed. If it continues to feel like sandy death, I probably won't use it. But if it kind of softens up and feels a bit more nice, I will probably make a top, possibly a waistcoat. This is more of the fabric that the top was made out of. Not sure what I'm going to make to go with it. I was thinking I might make a skirt to go with the top. I was also thinking I might make a pair of like culotte shorts because I don't own any of those, and I feel like if I want to embrace any level of vintage fashion, it's the law. This, I absolutely love this. It's kind of like denim weight and it has a slight stretch to it. So the story behind this, my grandmother bought this fabric to make trousers for herself, which she didn't. And then my mum took it to make trousers for herself, which she didn't. And now I have taken it to make trousers for myself, and I am determined to do it. I sent a picture of this fabric to my cousins with the kind of story about where it came from, the many generations of unmade trousers. One of my cousins has a baby, and she was like, well, if the 3rd generation of owning this fabric wants to make some trousers for the 4th generation, I've got a great tiny model for you. So I am considering it. I've never made baby clothes, but I feel like making very tiny vintage-y vibe paisley trousers is the correct way to start for me. Oh, dear lordy. No, it's gone wrong. Very small amounts of very soft black silk. I'm not sure what these two are. They're definitely natural fibres, and based on the way they fray, they are probably silk. Greyish cream beige? Greyish cream beige. The colour we all know. And some black. No clue what I'm doing with them. They may just become linings. This, oh lordy, oh god. This is the biggest piece of fabric, I think. This is actually the wrong side of it. The right side of it is very shiny, and I actually prefer the wrong side, but it looks cool from both directions. Either I could make something that's reversible, or I could just make myself a range of clothing using the different sides. Clothing for every occasion. Shiny things for shiny occasions, and so forth. I'm not entirely sure what it's made of. It is definitely predominantly natural fibres, and I know that because I did a burn test. So for any of you who don't know, if you cut off a tiny bit of fabric and attempt to burn it, well, man-made fibres are predominantly plastic and so will melt, and natural fibres will actually catch on fire and burn. This is a top that my mum started making herself and never finished. She insisted I take the tiny scraps, which, while sensible, is also a bit pedantic, but I accept her for who she is. A bit sensible, but mostly pedantic. Sorry, Mum. She watches my videos, and I have a go at her so much. Thankfully, she has a sense of humour. She started making this top and never finished it. I hate the top part of this top, but I really like this bit. Again, this is very beautiful silk. It is Italian, and I know that because its salvagers tell me this. I will probably make a real person-sized blouse, and I appreciate that my mother was willing to part with it. I need to take the fabric and make something out of it, because some of these have been sat in her stash for decades. Literal decades. On the subject of fabric that she's had in her stash for literal decades, there is this. This is 5.5 meters of very nice silk. She bought it in Sheffield before we moved to Canada for the first time. So that means, by definition, she purchased this before 1997. She thinks she had it in her stash when I was a toddler when we were living there. So it may well be older than I am, and it has been moved between the UK and Canada 4 times. This piece of fabric has crossed the ocean 4 times. That is more times than some people cross the ocean. And I don't wear mustard, so like with the teal silk, I'm going to do some looking into how you can safely dye silk without destroying it. It would be incredibly challenging for me in my own home to dye 5.5 meters of silk a uniform colour. So I think as I work on projects, I'll just take the amount that I need and dye it, especially because dyeing it in smaller quantities will be far more manageable. There's a lot of it. It's a bit overwhelming. I have a lot of clothes that I just wear because they're there. I don't particularly feel enthusiastic about them or particularly like them. In fact, some of them I'm reasonably disdainful towards their existence. I'm not going to throw anything away because that would be wasteful, but I will probably take you along on a decluttering adventure. It's important to reassess your style every once in a while. I would just like to have some really nice quality clothes that will last me a long time and I can wear for a long time. That's the idea. I'm going to try and get back to uploading every 2 weeks. I do not know if I'm going to be successful, but that's okay. We're in a pandemic, kids. Cut yourself some slack. I hope you enjoyed this, even though it was probably a strange journey, the history of my mother's fabric stash, but I had a really nice time going through it. If you would like to stick around, then, you know, you can go and watch my other videos, or you can subscribe to my channel. I hope to see you guys in my next video. Big love, and I will see you next time. Burbs. The burbs are making noise. The burbs. Yes! I exist! I haven't had breakfast yet, and I'm also very sleep deprived. So if I look tired, it's because I am. Shush, stomach. It's not the time. I just said shush. So rude. Ooh. A beard hair. Hamish has been in here. I not beautiful?